There's cracks in the mortar where the stones have settled in. Don't our goblin borders make a devil of a din? Won't you take this cold and broken stair to this old lair?
Gathered Throng, it is our great pleasure to spend the next half hour with you in our official guise as your stern but fair DM dads. You can talk too, Eric.
Well, I mean, I don't know how stern I am.
Well, yeah, but listen, we have to have there's a yin and yang.
Yeah, okay. So
right?
good
It's
cop,
like-
bad cop.
Yeah,
type thing?
exactly.
Yeah.
Like, I'll handle the stern.
Okay, I just come in and like throw the party for everyone. Say you're all doing great,
Yeah, exactly.
and then you come in and he's like, "No, you're not doing
Well,
great."
then it has to be cleaned.
Yeah,
I come
It's
in
like-
later.
you could do better.
This is a mess.
Yeah.
But as always, it is our intention, if not the actuality, to deliver unto you useful tips for your own games. Indeed, all the way up to bespoke dungeon manufacturing.
That's what we do.
Think of
you
us,
know?
we are contractors in a way, except,
We work for free.
well, not 100%
yeah,
for
yeah.
free. Certainly membership
That's
is
true.
required.
Oh, that's true. That's true.
But certainly we can manufacture imaginary things for you, really at profound cost.
Yeah, bargain basement cost. You know,
Indeed.
like
Huge savings
huge savings.
in every department. Hey, Rebecca Ireland, nothing could bring us more pleasure than to answer your question today. So you are wondering some specific things, of course, and we know precisely how to solve it. Dear DM Daddies, I have wanted to run a family game over the holidays for a couple of years now for my siblings and parents. This is going to be so
Yep.
great. They're going to remember this. They're going to remember this shit for the rest of their lives.
Right.
They are all big nerds. Good start, but don't have any experience with tabletop RPGs.
Ooh, okay.
What should I do to make the experience as easy and streamlined as possible for a full table of new people? Any ideas for fun 1 to 2 session adventures? Oh, for sure.
Yes.
So I was just gonna say, there's so many games now that are very story forward. Like, I mean, arguably, even D&D 5e has some of this indie DNA now.
Yeah.
Where it's almost a demake.
Yeah.
Like they literally rolled the clock back. They rolled prices back to
Yeah.
1980.
Yeah.
Well, not the prices, but certainly the systems.
Yeah.
And the key, I think, especially if they've never played any tabletop RPGs, you can always graduate up to something like D&D. But D&D is relatively complicated, especially for a new person. It's like
Right.
one of the reasons I like D&D is that if a person has role played before, generally speaking, they have dipped a toe in it.
Yeah. Exactly.
And the concepts inherent in D&D are so universal now in RPGs generally.
Yeah. Any kind of gaming. You know, when you say I'm making a deck save or, you know, a strength check, or I'm using my, I have stats.
Yeah, it's
You know?
it really is the patriarch of many of these other games. And even when these games defy the patriarch, you know, in some ways they're
Yeah.
still operating in a
Yeah.
system defined, you know, at the top.
Exactly.
And so what I would do, especially if what you're trying to hook up is a memorable snare over the holidays. So maybe you'll be going back home, or maybe they'll be coming out, or maybe you all live in the same place, but you'll be getting together over the holidays and you want to hook something like this up. I would recommend not starting with D&D, not because I don't like D&D,
Yeah.
but because D&D has got a lot of bells and whistles, you know, even at the character creation part of it. Now, obviously, you know, you could roll with pre-gens and stuff
Yeah,
like
you
that,
could.
or you could just play a different game.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. It doesn't have to be D&D.
no, and that's what I would recommend.
Yeah.
Play a different game altogether.
Yeah.
And then, you know, it could be a situation where it's like our grandma, that's where you go for Christmas,
Yeah. Absolutely.
right? And, you know, it could be, you might be starting a tradition here where if you're able to tell a good story here, I'm not trying to create a lot of pressure. The truth is that your family is going to have no natural defense against this type of gameplay.
Right.
It's entirely possible you'll be manufacturing role players virtually out of thin air here. But yeah, I mean, what I would recommend is that, I mean, I've been playing a lot of Tales from the Loop, And
It's a fantastic game.
yeah, it's so lightweight.
Yep.
What would be another super light one?
Like Dungeon World might be.
Dungeon World, yeah. I mean, it really depends on the type of focus, but
Yeah.
also the fantasy theme in and of itself has universals in it.
Right.
But I would describe the universals present in Tales from the Loop to be quite enduring.
Oh, yeah,
least
absolutely.
At least in the modern world, you look at something again, like you look at something like Stranger Things.
Mm-hmm.
People either get it because they lived it, or it represents a kind of cultural trove. It's the same as Ready Player One.
Exactly.
People watched Ready Player One, like Brenna had no overlap with nerd culture in the 80s.
Right.
But she enjoyed Ready Player One purely as a artifact.
Absolutely.
Right. And so if you're looking at trying to invite people in, I say you go Tales.
Yeah.
And
Weave too.
Oh my God, I hadn't even considered fucking
Weave is fantastic
Oh,
for introducing people to role playing.
yes, and also like even your grandma has a smartphone,
Right?
You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
I think you're onto something here. I think there's a case to be made. So,
Yeah.
So
'Cause
I'll
you
make
can
I'll make my case.
Yeah.
And then you make your case.
And
then
But that's two cases.
Yeah, and it's two cases for the price of one.
Yeah.
And so so the situation I would recommend is that you go with Tales from the Loop for a couple of reasons. One, in a D&D type campaign, there's going to be overlaps in terms of like what people are there to do. Like obviously they're going to be on the same mission, they're going to be in the same physical place, but the characters can all still be very in a wide range. One of the interesting things Tales from the Loop does is it normalizes age. And so
that's fun.
And so if you have parents and kids, it might be really funny to break up some of those understood relationships.
Absolutely.
And mess around, especially since you
are you kidding me?
Parents are one of the big roles in this game.
Yeah.
Like you often have to play parents, and
what if your parents aren't playing the parents?
Exactly. It's generally it's the storyteller that's going to be doing all the parents, right?
Yeah.
And so it might be really funny on its own, just to kind of play around with the family dynamics there.
Oh God, absolutely.
Right. But also it has some other cool things, like the older a kid is, the more skilled they are, the younger a kid is, the luckier they are.
Yeah.
You can come up with these characters so fast because most of the questions you're answering are social questions. They're questions about who do you look up to? What are your problems at school? Things like this. And those are questions that are, deeply unlike choosing a feat.
Right.
Right. Everyone is going to feel like they know what they need to know.
Yeah.
To do that type of stuff. And then you're looking at classes like weirdo, rocker,
right,
bookworm.
Yep.
These are really, really cool archetypes that people will recognize from film, even if, like I said, they didn't live through it. And it's also a fun way to examine your own childhoods through that lens.
Yeah.
You can set it in any town that you know and reference things that everybody gets.
Right.
Everybody
exactly.
enjoys.
It's your own little nostalgia trip in a sense.
Exactly. And you can guide it.
Yeah.
And so what I would do is I would set it up so here. So I'll go into what the campaign would be just as an idea. So you're saying you want to put together two different sessions. So let's gin this up together, right? So our session, the session that I ran for my daughter Ronya, and the session that I ran for the AV club, on Club PA, is it was based around Laika, the cosmonaut dog, the Soviet cosmonaut dog that returned to Earth.
That's fantastic.
In this, right? And so that's one way to do it. The second adventure that I ran for, I don't want to say anything because it'll be a spoiler.
Oh
for the next campaign.
yeah.
But I'm saying that take a piece of popular cultural knowledge in the sciences, science fiction, things like that, and then slowly introduce the facts of it until they start to build an idea of the adventure you want. So, like I say, I chose the aspects, especially in the 80s, were big in terms of the space race. That is the space race in general, or just tensions between Russia and the United States. Still, it's sad, but that's pretty timely still.
Yeah.
So you can still go through something like that. It could be a situation where, you know, your kids are at school and it's a thing where your city has a sister city
Right.
in Russia, like we have in Spokane.
Mm-hmm.
So it could be a situation where this team comes over.
Wait, so Russia's aligned with Spokane?
Well, not entirely, but on some things, I'm
Okay,
sure there's
sure.
an overlap.
Yeah.
So what I would do is I would maybe have these students come over, or like have an exchange student,
Right. Exactly. I like the exchange student idea because
right?
that's going to introduce an element of chaos to this whole group,
Mhm.
and it's going to make it easy for you to tell a story through. It's an easily manipulated NPC that'll allow you to further the story in any direction you want it to go.
Exactly. So they can be up to shenanigans, but in classic, 80s movie form, it could be that it's actually about prejudging people.
Mm-hmm.
The strange things that are happening may not be connected to them at
No,
all.
that's the best part. It's a
Right.
lark, right?
Exactly.
And
And
you're focusing on this NPC when it's
Exactly.
like, it's like hot fuzz, and it's actually the town council that's doing half of this.
Well, yeah, exactly. Or you're running afoul of a federal investigation
Right.
where the government believes the same thing that players are led to, even if it's not true.
Yeah.
And the actual truth of the matter, there can be all kinds of things. Like I say, Tales from the Loop is based. The conceit of Tales from the Loop is that there are these loops, for lack of a better term, that are like colliders,
Mhm.
and that strange things begin to occur around them. And they also have some other guidance. I don't use a lot of the things that they have in the official setting because I want this stuff to feel mostly real,
Right.
and only get weird when I want it to get weird
Right.
for the purposes of the story.
But you have that in your arsenal to, it's in your toolbox to pull out at any time you want.
Absolutely. So the classic themes in terms of that stuff are going to be body horror,
Mhm.
which I would say is a pretty natural fit for young people.
Yeah.
It's pretty scary already. Disappearances
Right.
would be another great classic one.
Mm-hmm.
You could literally, if they're fans, you could literally just rob something like Stranger Things wholesale.
Yeah.
And just let them, and it'll be special to them because they'll be playing through it.
Right. But also, I mean, what if you meta the game itself and you start them off playing Dungeons and Dragons in their own base? You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
how
That's a fucking awesome idea.
right? Instead of everybody meets at a tavern or everybody meets at the soda shop,
You can meet at the
they
basement.
meet in the basement because they're going to play D&D
Well,
inside of your RPG game.
Exactly. Well, exactly. But and they use that a little bit with the idea of the Demogorgon
Yeah,
in Stranger
absolutely.
Things. But what if the game they're playing actually starts to have ramifications out in
Yes. That would be amazing.
that could be really, really cool.
I
And
think that would be fun.
you could rock that for days.
Yeah. That's
Um,
that's minimum 2 sessions right there. Like that's
Exactly.
That's
And then-
so much fun.
so-
That's
so-
such a great idea.
So think about it in terms of your the debut, like the first movie, and then just think about it in terms of the sequel.
Yeah.
Take those themes, expand on them, subvert them, and you'll be set up for a couple games. Honestly, like they're gonna have a tough time. I'll be surprised if you don't get to 3.
Yeah. Oh, easily.
To be perfectly frank, and then just keep those characters like here. We just have them all folded up in a drawer, and if it's ever time to get down, we just snatch them out. Here, so you go into Weave. I've played Weave a couple times.
Yeah.
I think that Weave is very cool, and then Weave also has new. They also have new sets,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
So there's always new themes, and so that's more about themes, right?
Yeah. So what's great about Weave is you buy the box set, right?
Yeah.
And
So
it's
imagine it like Weave is basically
a
like
tarot card deck.
That's very well put.
It is exactly what it is, and you get 6 or 7 dice with it that are related to the skill challenges you as the storyteller
Yeah,
set
sort of
up.
elementally themed.
Yep. Yeah. It's all the 4 elements. And the thing that is so superb about Weave is that people who have never role played in their life can sit down around the table with their iPhone and this tarot deck and role play within 15 minutes.
Well, they can also, one of the other things that might be helpful about it for your fam is that the character creation is card based as well,
Exactly.
and everybody uses their phone. So I have found that because we've had friends over that maybe are not, in the gaming continuum exactly. One of the amazing things about like a Jackbox set is that any of the Jackbox games these days they're all based around the same backend,
Right.
and which means that any device that can render a web page can be a controller for it. And so if you say, here's just go to this URL, everybody knows what that is now.
Right.
And everybody knows how to type things into their phone.
Exactly. Everybody knows how to download an app.
They all have, but in this case, they just open up Safari.
Yeah,
There's
exactly.
even an app.
Yeah.
And so for some reason, it's like, even if you put somebody in a new situation, you say, oh, well, you use your phone to do it. You just go like this web page and then type stuff in. Everybody actually, like, that's a fundamental literacy now.
Yeah.
And so it's not like, it is a million times more approachable than even the most simple character sheet.
Exactly. And what happens is, what's really great is you use the tarot, the deck of cards to generate your character.
And some special items.
And some special items. But so, the player will pull one card and you scan it into your phone, and then it gives you 3 options for your character.
Yeah.
And then, so that's what makes character creation so easy. You get 3 options.
And
you just get to pick. And then you start weaving your tale around it.
Come now,
I know it's bad. But the same thing with your items, the same thing with your special abilities. So within 15 to 20 minutes, you have a full character that you know the ins and outs of because of these cards.
You manually chose it.
Exactly.
Okay.
So, and then you're picking the setting, or excuse me, you pick the setting first.
Yeah, exactly.
Which has a Tales from the Loop-like setting too, which is really great.
Does.
I think it's called the Boonies or something. It's based on the Goonies.
Gloomies, I think.
Gloomies, that's it. The Gloomies.
Yeah,
so it's the same.
We had a super fun Gloomies game.
That was amazing. It was amazing.
Yeah.
But they have sci-fi, fantasy.
Yeah.
They're coming out with more and more every month. So you can literally go and buy a new card or a new play set and have a whole new game experience every time you play this.
Yeah, absolutely. Or you can just continue to play
Continue the same
in a
exact
campaign.
story.
And this is the other thing. Oh, this is the other thing that we hadn't even considered. We hadn't even considered this, man.
No.
Especially
We're better than that.
Well, no, exactly. Especially if you are, it's your first time running this type of stuff.
Yes. It's fantastic.
Because on the DM side, like behind the screen, functionally speaking, you're going to use your phone or your iPad or whatever to do it, right? But it's also, you're building the story in real time as well based on the cards that come up.
Yeah, so you choose 3 cards, and one is the setting, one's going to be a part of the scenario, and the third is going to be the big boss. But each card gives you multiple options when you scan it into your phone. So you're deciding, when you decide the scenario, you have 1 out of 3 options, and then you just narrate that story to the players, and that's it. That's all you have to do. It's so guided, but still up to your own decisions to make.
Exactly. Here, so I just opened it up. So in terms of basic settings that you can that you could rock if you wanted to check this out, is they have one that is sort of like a humorous fantasy, goblin themed. You have sort of a cyberpunky one that takes place in South America. You have the Gloomies, which we mentioned already. That's 80s Kids in Danger. Solar Age is sort of a true sci-fi vibe. And then you also have Click.
Click?
Which is...
Is that like the Mean Girls?
Yes.
Oh,
high school.
my.
That's your high school drama.
Oh,
interpersonal,
wow.
right? And so, like I say, so the same deck of cards, basically what the individual cards mean is determined by the playset. So it isn't like there's another set of cards to get each time.
Right.
You have all of those. In fact, did they ever open up that store?
I think it's scheduled to open up this month.
Really?
But I could be wrong. So they're going to have a marketplace, much like...
so that's not out yet?
No, it's going to be much like the DM's Guild or anything in that nature where you can buy adventures. Here you buy play sets.
There we go. Right, cool. So later on, there's going to be other stuff, and then ultimately, people will be able to write their own. We've had that fantasy, certainly. But anyway, that's a pretty robust. Like you're set up there.
Yeah, you don't have to do anything else. I mean, you buy that box, and even as the storyteller or the DM or GM, you don't have to do prep because you don't know what's going to happen.
No, you do have to be fast on your feet,
right?
Which is its own skill, but everybody is going to understand like what's up with you and what you're going through.
Right.
And remember, this is the other thing about playing with new people.
Mm-hmm.
They really don't know.
No.
It's not possible for you really. You can't really disappoint them because they don't actually know. They don't really know the parameters.
Right. Exactly.
And so you can succeed at a profound level.
Mm-hmm.
Just going with your gut in every one of these things. I mean, you want a yes and.
Yep.
The first couple times they have a crazy suggestion and you run with it, you're going to change their lives.
Yeah.
Like they're not going to understand.
Yeah.
They're not going to understand like how broad it actually is.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
So in terms of like ideas for fun 1 to 2 session adventures, the main thing with Weave is just make a few quick notes as you're going through.
Yeah.
Basically just run those callbacks. Make sure that
Right.
it's feeling connected. It all feels like the same world. Throw in a few of the extra characters that they really enjoyed,
Mm-hmm.
and you're gold.
Yeah.
You're gold.
Yeah. It's done.
You can't lose.
Both of those two games are great places to start.
Yeah, absolutely.
Both Tales from the Loop and Weave.
Yeah, you're going to be real good. In either of those cases, I think it's probably going to be about the same price.
Yeah.
And then you can play for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
So it's pretty
pretty
good
good.
price.
Yeah.
Pretty good price. Kyle O'Connell
Okay.
asks, blessed DMs. Thank you, sir. In what other media sources or people do you guys most look to for inspiration? Perhaps the obvious answer of books and movies. For example, I have modeled more than one encounter after scenarios in Betrayal at the House on the Hill to the delight of my players. Absolutely.
Yes.
So you may be familiar with my good friend Michael Krahulik, occasionally referred to as Morak Karhollow. Now, his main inspirations for his games always come from other games.
Yeah.
So which is pretty meta.
But
that's
it's still fun. I mean,
that's my boy.
They
I
turn
mean-
out to be amazing. Like they're just
Oh yeah,
fantastic.
and so basically the act of taking a game or a system you're already familiar with and then porting it over here into D&D, that simple act changes its context and therefore changes its meaning and how people interface with it. So a battle royale where you're playing squads,
yeah.
but you're playing it in Dungeons and Dragons. You get the cool callbacks, and then everybody sort of knows what's up. But then on the back end of that, you get some other really novel interactions because it's so granular,
Yeah. Absolutely.
right? So like I say, so he rips off. But I mean, I'm just to say, lovingly customizes external sources of inspiration, specifically via games. But you should absolutely without hesitation, you should just beg, borrow, and steal
Yeah.
any mechanic you can from any source.
Friends in real life. That's always fun to put your friends in your games.
Oh
Whether
yeah.
they know it or not, even if they're not playing. But
Oh, definitely.
you can take character types and make them NPCs. You know, people that you know and use their traits as NPCs.
Yeah. In terms of my big trick is, of course, the 3 questions. Like making players provide me with adventure hooks for a decade just by a very brief interview ahead of time. And then where you get really interesting stuff is when you start crossing those streams. So once they give you the information, then you start crossing the backgrounds. You start having people correlated with or even responsible for some of the other challenges.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it depends on how long you want your campaign to go, I guess.
Well, I mean,
But
think
be
of some
careful with that one.
Yeah, but think of some of the C Team stuff we've done with everything that happened with Dinar and the fighting pits, but it also included Walnut and Brahma
and Rosie.
Rosie, everybody. Like using people's own concepts of their characters for the narrative.
Just one big pot.
Yeah.
Just toss it in. So what would you say? What would be a good, where do you go for stuff? I mean, a lot of your stuff, let's see, I'm trying to think of the stuff you've worked on recently. Gothic horror is
I know. I mean, that's straight Castlevania, my love for Castlevania.
Yeah. I mean, this stuff, you have books and movies here, but the truth is that games have got a lot of great stuff. I mean, I'm trying to think about, I mean, how many thousands of hours could you play just taking a few of the concepts from Final Fantasy VII? Slottable. Yeah, I mean,
give me materia.
Just
and I'll
the
play
idea.
for hours.
Just the idea of materia by itself the experiment gone wrong, ecological destruction.
Yeah, it was like the perfect storm of
Good
these narrative
Lord.
hooks.
Dark mentors.
Oh, yeah, are you kidding?
I mean, it's all there. Like they've already thought about all this stuff. I mean, you could have a lot of fun if you approach, say, a Dragon Age, Mass Effect,
exactly.
especially if your group is primarily a tabletop group,
Right.
and they haven't spent a lot of time in those settings. They don't gotta know.
No,
This can be
not at all.
This can be mom's secret.
Yeah, I mean, I might venture into The Witcher, and that's a whole different that's think about the tales you can tell in that
Well,
type of
exactly.
setting.
And that's in The Witcher. I mean, that's an interesting one where player characters, generally speaking, are going to be pretty low magic.
Right.
But there are entities that have powerful magic, but that's not Geralt.
Yeah. Right.
Like Geralt and the characters in a potential campaign that you would set there, and certainly most of the people that Geralt knows.
Right.
Like obviously he knows a sorceress or two, but most of these people are just crushed under the heel of much, much more powerful
exactly
forces. And they have, I mean, basically The Witcher is about the ability of folklore to change the world.
Yeah.
I mean, that's basically like what he knows is stories.
Yeah.
Right. And that's the thing I like most about them. So a campaign where stories and information constitute the greatest weapons.
Yeah.
Oof a doof.
That would be just a blast.
Oof a doof.
Yeah, so things like that. I mean, that's another way.
So Snatch games, and of course that's a game from a book.
From a book, right? So that could also then be passed on to a tabletop game.
No, that's a freebie.
That's a lineage.
That's a freebie.
Yeah.
And like I say, especially when you're talking about board games, like Mike uses, there's a lot of ways to get some stuff in sort of sideways there. Even if even if you talk about like with him, his big thing was always crafts. So there's going to be orbs, or there's going to be mazes and things like that, and you can borrow all that kind of stuff. My personal favorite thing to do when you can't run the whole campaign like this. Although no, I'm wrong. You could, but you'd have to incorporate some higher level concepts in it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't. Generally speaking, I'm not a fan of sport as a thing,
medium. For
enjoyment. exactly. Like it's not. It's like whenever I watch it, I enjoy it just fine because it's like a game and I like games. But honestly, I have leveraged sports concepts in role playing games a lot. There's just something about like. Obviously, it's always your team against the other team or the environment, or
even like even the simple fishing stuff that we've done, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like it's still a sport. It's fun, and
exactly
it just
trying to model. Yeah, exactly. Trying to the act of that state change from one of these mediums to another is an opportunity to really distill out what is cool about those games,
right?
And make something that people can it's approachable, they get it. But they also get to see it again for the first time, which is really fun in any game.
Exactly.
Gathered Throng, it has been our great pleasure to spend this time with you. Welcome to This Old Lair, and
come back and join us.
Yeah, come back and join us. In the lair, ostensibly. We'll see ya. If you found value in this episode, consider joining Club PA on Patreon. There, you can find many more current episodes, submit your own questions, and get access to our other exclusive podcasts, actual plays, and comics.